Hello, welcome again to this beautiful day that is day 15. And we're continuing with our challenge of 100 days, and today we are talking about CSS. Yesterday we looked at the introduction to CSS, and we are continuing a little bit to build on top of that. As we said, CSS is dealing with the appearance of the page, styling the page looks and feel, making sure that there is attraction on the content that are presented using the HTML. So we are continuing with that. And today we are looking at a little bit more part of the basic introduction. If you remember, we talked about external file, and we talked about internal CSS, external CSS, internal CSS, and the inline, which is here. All of this is good. But think of this. You may be having CSS specifically for devices. Remember, we are looking at how should the website look differently from one side, from one device to another, because that's what makes sense talking about appearance. It should look good in all the devices, and that's where now CSS comes with something additional to that to make sure that the looks are affected uh, when somebody means what he or she want to do. So if you want to affect how the page will look on the mobile, you can do that. If you want to affect how the page will look on the big screen, you can do that by using CSS. And that comes with the additional of one particular attribute in the link, in the link part. So in the link part, we can add a specific attribute called media. And when we add the media, we are going to specify that this CSS should maybe behave or look or affect this particular size of the devices or this particular size of device. For example, in here we are going to say screen, and we are going to say the max. This means we are going to specify exactly what size of the screen this CSS should affect. So if you remember, our CSS currently is affecting paragraph. So when we have added screen and the max width, they have no idea what are we talking about. We should finish that. So let me start small. Let me start small to 400 pixels. So when the width of the screen is 400 pixels, then apply this particular style. This is what it means on this line. So I'm saying I'm creating a link which the relation is style. It's going to affect the appearance, and it's coming from this particular file, but it should affect this particular size of devices. It should affect this particular size of devices. So if I do that, then you see now I will move also. Let me move my color, my H1 also to the style. Uh, Let me get rid of this. You can see what we are talking about. So at this level, the CSS is green. It doesn't show any CSS. Why? Because we have specified that we are going to affect only the size of this kind. So how will I get that particular size? I will get that particular size by either making sure I reduce the size of the screen. I'm using that because I drag and drop, but think of this as the device. If I grab my phone and the font size correspond to the size that the programmer of CSS the specified, then the looks and fields that he or she specified on that particular CSS will be applied to that particular device. So I can target specifically device according to how they look. Maybe I say no, this most of devices they start with 600. So the good thing is between that going up, so from 600 and below, they will be affected by that particular look. And when I go beyond 600, which is here, they leave it. They say, no, we can't go there because we are focusing on devices where the width is within this. But also looking at the common sizes, we have 360. So if I was going to really be more specific here, I could say I want to do the mobile, which width is 360. Or I'll go to mobile, which is 375, 411. Or now I'm talking about the computer, which is 11920, going up and up and up. It's up to you who is creating that particular code. I really I really didn't show you through, but yeah, that's how it happened. But what I have done here is this particular look that you can change, and you can see exactly how it goes. So we have this, we have added this particular thing, screen, and the max width 360. Before I added 400, before it was 400, and within 400 going down, it will be fine, but beyond 400, it will change. You can see on the screen, the style stop. So I can also say, no, I am targeting that. So that's number one. So I can have different styles for different devices. I say when it's 400, let's go here. There. So that's style one. The style two will be so the style two will focus on, let's say maybe to make it easier to understand. Color and blue. But also I'll put background color here. I'll put a little bit black. In my paragraph, we having color the chocolate, but also I'll make sure I'll call body, because remember, if this you are talking about the exactly tag. So if I say body, it will affect the whole body. And I'll give it color, which will be aqua. All right. Now, if I go here and I say link, and I say style 2, style 2 will affect everything as it goes. But when I say no, I want to focus on the specific key side, talking about green and white, going to be maybe 600. Yep, 600 pixels. Now, let me go with 400 so that it makes sense. That way. This is 600, this is 400. 600, 400. All right. But I'm using a very simple tags and very simple declarations of colors, which in real life you use a little bit, you add a little bit more complex around it. But the main thing that I'm trying to communicate is you can have these particular colors or these particular looks and appearance uh, behave according to the device size alike. But one more thing that I want to discuss today is if you have a couple of CSS that you want to join together, you can do that by using import. So you can maybe have a very one main.css, which is having almost all the declarations and the like. And then let's say, hmm, be that and the trying to avoid to go ahead of myself. Yeah, yeah. So you have that, and you have our style here, which is not doesn't have a lot of other things. Maybe the main is having everything that you want, but there's few things that you want to change. So instead of you coming here declaring every CSS in the list, you can just go back to your style that you want and say, okay, I will import this by saying add port, and they will ask you the URL. And that means you need to specify where is this file coming, the exact path. If it's locally, you can say the folder, the name. But if it's remotely, you can say the browser, the website slash whatever exactly to the file that you are calling to. So in this case, I'm talking about main. So I'm talking about main CSS, and here it is. It's the moment I imported it, it's affected as soon as possible. Because now when I go here, whatever I do here is coming from the CSS, and the CSS that I have used here is in here is getting more other CSS. So when we talk about import, we means that whatever is inside in this file has to be brought into this particular file. What is in this file, please bring them into this other file so that I can use them. That's what they call import. You're having different files that have different things, but they are understanding each other. So instead of you copy and paste, you say, no, let me import this to this particular site. And this is also very necessary when you are creating responsive web page. Maybe you want to create a couple of CSS for mobile, for this, but you have this kind of generic CSS that apply throughout every 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 device. So you can have this generic which is applied through every device, and you import to each and every CSS. Then you have now specifically CSS for these particular devices which you are going to use import to get from the generic. All right. Yeah, that's my main thing that I wanted to share today. Was a 14-day of coding in CSS. We need to keep this in mind because they are going to be useful as we go. And we are starting seeing that we can build something so interesting because we know now screen, media, which assists us to define based on the size of the screen, based on the size of the width of the device. and that makes us more interesting in our appearance, designing, and the like. So on the 15th day, we're going a little bit now to focus on these tags and the other thing that we can do inside here. We're going to be dealing now with real looks because we haven't looked at the real looks. Thank you very much. Keep this in mind and remember to share, comment, and like, and let's talk about it. Let's discuss. We're open. This is the challenge. We need to make sure that we finish it. We can't finish without you. Till next time.